Hey guys, welcome back to Walk and Study. Today, we will be going over some more advanced TOEFL vocabulary. This video is great for anyone studying for the TOEFL or anyone who wants to learn some advanced English vocabulary. As we work through these words, we will be walking near the State Capitol building in Denver, Colorado. Okay, let's get started. Our first word is pursue. Pursue is a verb and it has two main definitions. The first definition of pursue is to follow or chase. Using pursue in a sentence with this definition, we could say, the cheetah pursued the gazelle across the grassland. So the cheetah chased the gazelle across the grassland. We could also say, after losing the ball, LeBron James pursued his opponent down the basketball court. So after losing the ball, LeBron James chased his opponent down the court. The second main definition of pursue is to try to achieve something, often a dream or a goal. Using pursue in a sentence with this definition, we could say, for many years, NASA pursued the goal of landing an astronaut on the moon. So for many years, NASA tried to achieve the goal or dream of landing an astronaut on the moon. We could also say, Ricardo went to law school to pursue his dream of becoming a lawyer. So Ricardo went to law school to try to achieve his dream of becoming a lawyer. Our next word is phase. Phase is a noun, and it means a period of time in a longer process of change. Using phase in a sentence, we could say, teenagers often go through a phase in which they fight with their parents a lot. So teenagers often go through a period of time where they fight with their parents a lot. We could also say, Mo went through a phase where he didn't eat any green foods. So Mo went through a period of time where he didn't eat any green foods. Our next word is generate. Generate is a verb, and it means to create or to produce, and it is often used when talking about energy. Using generate in a sentence, we could say, the power plant generates electricity for the city. So the power plant creates or produces electricity for the city. We could also say, the fire generated heat. So the fire created or produced heat. Though generate is often used to talk about energy, it doesn't have to be used that way. For example, we could say, the argument between Alexis and John generated tension. So the argument that Alexis and John had created or produced tension between the two of them. Our next word is proportion. Proportion is a noun, and it means the size or amount of something compared to the whole or other parts. Using proportion in a sentence, we could say, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the proportion of people baking bread at home has increased. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, the part or amount of people baking bread at home relative to all the people stuck at home has increased. We could also say, the proportion of pollution coming from airplanes has decreased during the pandemic. So the size or amount of the pollution coming from airplanes has decreased during the pandemic. Our next word is grant. Grant is a verb, and it has two main definitions that are important for the TOEFL exam. The first definition of grant is to agree to give something or allow something someone requested to happen. Using grant in a sentence with this definition, we could say, the teacher granted the students permission to take the day off. So the teacher agreed to give the students permission to not come to class. We could also say, the mayor granted the construction company permission to build 50 new houses by the river. So the mayor agreed to allow the construction company to build 50 new houses near the river. The second definition of grant is to admit something or to say something is true. Using grant in a sentence with this definition, we could say, after discussing the issue for an hour, Javier granted that Larry had a good point. So after discussing some issue for an hour, Javier admitted that Larry had a good idea or argument. Our next word is institute. Institute can be both a noun and a verb. When used as a noun, institute means a group or an organization that has a specific goal, objective, or common element, and that common element or goal is usually a scientific, educational, or social goal. Using institute in a sentence with this definition, we could say, Chris worked as a scientist at a local renewable energy research institute. So Chris works as a scientist at a local organization focused on researching renewable energy. We could also say, my brother started an institute focused on reducing homelessness. So my brother started an organization that is focused on getting homeless people off the street. Institute can also be used as a verb, and when used as a verb, institute means to start or establish, and we often use it when talking about plans, rules, or systems. Using institute with this definition, we could say, Andy's mother instituted a new rule in their house requiring all the children to do chores before they received their allowance. So Andy's mother established a new rule in their house, and that rule was that in order for the children to get paid an allowance, they had to do chores around the house. Our next word is integrate. Integrate is a verb, and it means to combine or become part of something. Using integrate in a sentence, we could say, Melissa tried to integrate her co-workers' ideas into the project. So Melissa tried to make her co-workers' ideas part of the project. We could also say, the engineers integrated autopilot into the latest Tesla. So the engineers made autopilot a part of the newest Tesla car. We could also say, a major goal of the civil rights movement was integrating schools so children of all races could learn together. So a major goal of the civil rights movement was combining children of all races into classrooms so they could learn in the same environment. Okay, our next word is objective. Objective can be used as both a noun and an adjective. When used as a noun, objective means a goal. Using objective with this definition in a sentence, we could say, Shema's objective was to learn English so she could get a better job. So Shema's goal was to learn English so she could get a better job. We could also say, Liverpool's objective is to win the Premier League. So Liverpool's goal is to win the Premier League. Okay, when used as an adjective, objective means based in fact rather than opinions or personal beliefs. Using objective with this definition in a sentence, we could say, the journalist presented the news in an objective way. So the journalist presented the news in a way that was based in fact and free from opinion or personal beliefs. We could also say, a judge must maintain an objective state of mind. So a judge must maintain a state of mind that is based in facts and is free from opinion or personal beliefs as possible. Our next word is policy. Policy is a noun, and it means a rule made by an organization, government, company, or individual. Using policy in a sentence, we could say, the government created a new policy that forgave all student loans. So the government created a new rule that said people did not have to pay off the money they borrowed to pay for school. We could also say, Teddy's father established a new policy requiring everyone in the family to turn their phones off in the evening. So Teddy's dad created a new household rule that made everyone turn their phones off in the evening. In this example, the policy is probably an informal policy, meaning it's more of a friendly rule and not written down somewhere or very serious. Our next word is principle. Principle is a noun, and it means an idea or a core truth that makes the base for a system of belief or action. Using principle in a sentence, we could say, Jose lived his life by the principle that most people are fundamentally good. So Jose lived his life by the idea that most people are fundamentally good, and this idea directed the way Jose interacted with the world. We could also say, democracy operates on the principle that every citizen deserves a say in how they are governed. So democracy operates on the idea that every citizen deserves a say or an opinion in how their government works. Our next word is subsequent. Subsequent is an adjective, and it means coming after or following something else. Using subsequent in a sentence, we could say, even though the first computer was large and hard to use, subsequent computers were smaller and more user-friendly. So even though the first computer was large and difficult to use, the computers that came after were smaller and easier to use. We could also say, both the English lesson and the subsequent homework were very difficult. So both the English lesson and the homework that followed or came after the lesson were very difficult. Okay, with that, we've gone over some more advanced and very important TOEFL vocabulary. I hope this lesson was helpful to you all. As always, subscribe below, Give us a like if you found this video useful, and let us know in the comments section what else you'd like to learn about or see in our next Walk and Study lesson. Thanks, guys. Take care.